Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna share with you how to catch carp. And today we're gonna be meeting with one of the most amazing angler, my friend Armando, and he's gonna go through top tips of catching carp. Stay tuned.
Yep. I think I got mine tagged. Bring the net, Jeff. I think I got mine back. It's on me, Jeff. Yeah, there it is.
Morning guys, today we're here on a beautiful sunny day in southern Ontario. It's Canadian Carp Anglers in collaboration with Life with Puya. He's the photographer, the filmmaker, I'm the angler. We said why not, let's get together and do a beautiful video for you guys. Today we're going to be sharing some tips on how to catch carp. We're going to go over the gear, we're going to go over the baiting strategy. There we go. We're all set. So, as you can see, there's fish jumping everywhere. We're beginning of summer. This is when the carp move in. Key factors in carp fishing is location. It's just like real estate. Location, location, location. You could be fishing all day with the best gear. If the fish are not there, you're not going to catch them. Today we decided this venue, based on the fact that it's a shallow bay. The fish come in, they're getting ready to spawn. They've been in the deeper water, they're coming in to feed and get ready for laying eggs and doing what they do best, reproducing. Today I've got a couple of stuff here to show you. I've got my pod. It's a key factor in your carp fishing. You really need something like this. You don't have to go this fancy. There are a couple of other anglers here. We'll show you their gear. We'll introduce them to you as well. A rod, a reel, and an alarm. The good thing about this setup is you could always sit down, chill, have a good time with your buddies. The minute you get a fish on, the alarm goes on, it sounds off, letting you know that you have a fish at the end of the line. Some of the bait that we're using, you don't have to again go fancy. Cattle corn seems to work really good, but depending on the temperature, the visibility underwater, we tend to use something called a pop-up, and this is what I'm using today. This is sticky baits, pineapple and butric, and this is what the bait looks like. So basically this gets put on a hair or a rig screw that's attached to your hook, and once the fish suck that in, they're nailed. That's it, done. The rig we're using, again, a little bit elaborate, but I'll show you one of the basic rigs. This is called a hair rig. The reason it's called a hair rig is because your bait goes on the hair, not on the hook. This way, the minute the fish suck in your bait, they get hooked immediately because the hook's bare. I'm using something called a coated braid. The reason we're using braid, carp are tough. The record from this bay, if I'm not wrong, is 48 pounds. So a 48-pound fish will put up a big fight, and you're going to need heavy-duty gear to pull a fish in like that. Another vital part of the gear would be your landing net. You do need a big landing net. Again, it's not for big fish. The reason being that big, it's to make sure that when you do land a big fish, you're ready. You could also use this to keep your fish in the water until you get ready to take a picture with the fish. We are strictly catch and release. None of the fish get harmed. everything goes back in. The bigger the fish, the better for us. Snap a photo, measure it, weigh it, put it back in. So we discussed that once we found a location where we know there's carp, telltale signs would be fish breaching, jumping out of the water, swirls. Carp will let you know that they're in the water. So back to the top tips. What we need to do is, once we've established that there is carp in the waters, we're gonna have to bait up an area. Baiting up an area, what I use usually is corn. I buy a sack of cattle corn, I soak it for 48 hours, boil it for half an hour, and this is your end result. It's a nice soft corn. Carp love it. You could use different types of flavoring, chili, anise, cinnamon. You can go crazy however way you like it. Plain will also work well. Garlic's another good flavor. So I'm not fishing that far out. I'm probably 30-40 yards out, so I'm using my scoop. It's a baiting scoop, and all I do is I take a little bit of a scoop of corn and I chuck in a few scoops. If you're going to be fishing this area for multiple days, what I would recommend is you come prior to your session, bait up an area, put in half a bucket, do it a couple of days, and then usually the third or fourth day when you come in, the fish are in your spot and you'll catch them easily. You have something called a baiting needle, and the reason you need a baiting needle is it's got a clip at the end. So basically what you do is you take your boilie or your pop-up, which is a bait that you can order from tackle stores. Carp Kit would be one of our stores that we use here in Ontario. So basically you would put your bait through the baiting needle, grab the end of the hair, put the clip back on, slide your bait on, and you would take a boilie stop, put the boilie stop through the hair, and there we go. That's your end rig. An easier way would be the bait screw, which is tied onto your hair, and instead of using a needle, what you do is you just take the screw, push it in, and screw your bait on. Make sure you get a metal screw, not a plastic screw. Plastic screws tend to break on the cast, or if a fish picks it up, it does tend to break. And again, this is your end result. This is how you want your bait to be sitting on the lake bottom or river bottom. This is how it's presented. It's sitting in a pile of corn, so while the fish are inhaling all your bait, they come in and they see this. It's got a nice scent to it. Once the fish eat it, it's got a nice taste. The minute it's sucked in, fish is hooked immediately. Another product that is available in the market, they're called glugs. So this is specifically pineapple. It's again from Mainline. Mainline is a good company that produces awesome bait. There are other companies such as Sticky Baits. You have Baitworks. They're all located in England. Amazing stuff. Strongly recommend them. The reason you'd use this is to enhance the attractiveness of your bait. You just spray your bait before the cast, and it lets out a odor trail so the fish find it more readily. You could also use this on something called your pack bait. I will be putting in a link on how to make your pack bait and your cured corn. You will find that link at the end of this video. So these are some important tips that I do recommend you use before going for carp fishing. It does, result in better catch numbers, and you are going to get big fish. We're going to go over some of the hardware you're going to need for carp fishing. I'm using Shimano. I've got trust in the brand. They make a good product. I'm using a Shimano TX9. It's a stiff rod. This is the 3.75 test curve. It's meant for casting long distance, but I like the action in the rod. Even though it is a stiff rod, it's got a nice soft tip. It's got good action to play the fish. I'm using a big pit reel, again a Shimano. I'm using 30-pound braid. The reason we use braid is, as I said, carp are tough. They do put up a good fight. I don't want to lose any big fish. That would be devastating. And also, it helps with snags. So if there are snags, I feel it's a little bit better control. I use something called a rig tubing to protect against zebra mussels cutting my line. Another piece of the hardware is your alarm. I use Delkim's. A wise man told me a while back, cheap is expensive. So invest in your gear. It's going to serve you for many years, and in the long run, it's going to be cost effective. So Delkim's are what I recommend as alarms. And as I said, the minute you get a fish on, what happens is you're going to know. So if you're sitting chatting with your friends, family, you got your kids with you, it's a nice chill way to relax and enjoy the day without losing any bite indication. The pod I'm using here is a Mechanica Vedese. It's from Italy. Basically toys for the boys. I've gone with the best. I'm sure this is going to last me for as long as I live. I don't have to buy another pod. It's metal, it's tough, it looks beautiful. It comes with buzz bars, so you can add the buzz bars to the side. Here in Ontario, or in Canada I should say, we're only allowed to use one rod, so I've done it with a setup so that I can only use one rod. Hopefully we will get 2 rods, and at that point I will add the buzz bars. Other stuff, as I mentioned, the big net is something that you're going to need. You could also use that to keep fish, as I mentioned earlier, to take pictures and then release the fish.
I hope you enjoyed this video. 5 tips how to catch carp with the best angler over here, Armando. And hey, listen, if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. And this is his link. I'm gonna put it down over here, all right? So you can subscribe to his channel, and here's my channel, and be able to subscribe.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're into fishing, Canadian Carp Anglers of Ontario, smash that subscribe button. I've got tons of videos on how to sea fish, carp fish. It's my passion, so I hope it helps you as well. Good luck, guys, and enjoy the video.
See you next video.